In 2023, the world of supplements was shaken by an important piece of news. The FDA has banned NMN, a popular anti-aging compound, from being marketed and sold as a dietary supplement. But why did this happen? Hi, my name is Caroline, and today we're unraveling the complex timeline behind this recent FDA decision. Stay tuned as we provide crucial insights into this significant move, impacting everyone interested in supplements for longevity and general health. Let's rewind a bit to understand the buzz around NMN. NMN, short for nicotinamide mononucleotide, has been gaining attention in the world of dietary supplements. It's a compound that plays a crucial role in cellular health and energy production, and is believed by many to have potential anti-aging benefits. But how did this trendy new supplement that you could buy in any drugstore or online e-shop suddenly get banned by the FDA? We will explain all the details in just a second. First, if you want our insight into NMN, its benefits, and its mechanism of action, check out our other video about it. May 16, 2022 was a landmark day for the NMN story. Syncozymes, a Shanghai-based company, received approval from the FDA to consider beta NMN as a new dietary ingredient. This was a significant milestone since for the first time, beta NMN was officially approved to be legally used as an ingredient in supplements in the USA. But here's a twist. Prior to this approval, the NMN market was somewhat of a wild west. Companies like Shinkawa Pharmaceuticals had been selling NMN on platforms like Amazon since 2016. That's why some people watching may remember seeing NMN being marketed as a supplement long before Syncozyme received an approval by the FDA for beta NMN as a new dietary ingredient in 2022. On July 2022, the NMN story took another turn. Inner Mongolia Kingdom Way Pharmaceutical Limited, a player in the supplement arena, stepped into the spotlight. They voluntarily submitted an NDI notification for beta NMN, signaling their intention to enter the burgeoning NMN supplement market in the United States. But why is this submission important? An NDI submission is a crucial step set by the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act and enforced by the FDA for supplement manufacturers and distributors if they intend to market dietary supplements containing new dietary ingredients. This process requires that the manufacturers provide information that the supplements containing new ingredients are reasonably expected to be safe under conditions of use recommended on the labeling. On October 11, 2022, the plot thickens in the NMN storyline. The FDA sent a critical letter to Kingdom Way, significantly altering the course of NMN's journey in this supplement market. In this letter, the FDA stated that beta NMN is under investigation as a new drug, meaning it cannot be considered as a dietary ingredient and marketed as a dietary supplement. Other companies continued to submit NDIs for NMN, but were told by the FDA that the agency cannot offer a response to NDI notifications for NMN. This announcement was a game changer, but it also raised several questions. Furthermore, on November 4, 2022, the FDA retroactively decided that Syncozyme's NMN is no longer considered a dietary ingredient, even though the NDI notification from them was previously accepted. One of the issues with this NMN story lies in the timing and transparency of the FDA processes. The FDA decision was based on a provision in the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994. This act states that a dietary supplement cannot contain an ingredient that has been authorized for investigation as a new drug, for which substantial clinical investigations have been instituted, and for which the existence of such investigations has been made public, unless the investigation began after the ingredient had been approved for use in supplements. However, the FDA does not typically disclose when a drug company files an investigational new drug or IND application. This lack of transparency means it's unclear whether NMN was under investigation as a new drug before or after companies like Kingdom Way submitted their NDIs. Why does this matter? The sequence of these events is critical. If NMN was already under investigation as a new drug before these NDIs were submitted, it would mean these companies were potentially unaware of its status, navigating in a regulatory gray area. This FDA decision to ban NMN from being marketed as a dietary ingredient also underscores a larger debate about the accessibility of potentially beneficial supplements and the lack of transparency of regulatory processes involving substances investigated as new drugs. As we'll see next, this announcement from the FDA sparked a range of reactions from various stakeholders, shaping the ongoing debate about NMN, its classification, and its future in the dietary supplement market. December 16, 2022 marked a pivotal moment for collective responses to this new FDA decision to ban NMN from being marketed as a dietary supplement. Prominent figures and companies within the supplement industry began voicing their opinions, highlighting a spectrum of reactions and perspectives. One notable response came from Dr. David Sinclair, a leading researcher in the field of aging and longevity. Dr. Sinclair expressed a hopeful viewpoint regarding the FDA ban of NMN being marketed as a dietary supplement. He talked about NMN being a potentially great candidate for a medication and highlighted the role of the FDA as being very important for food safety and consumer protection. But the industry response was far from uniform. While some echoed Sinclair's optimism, others expressed significant disapproval of the FDA's ban. For instance, the Council for Responsible Nutrition argued that the ban unnecessarily restricts consumer access to a supplement that has been widely used without reported harm. They pointed out that while safety is important, the FDA's stringent standards and prolonged approval processes for drugs may not be the most appropriate pathway for all dietary supplements, especially those like NMN with a history of widespread use and a promising safety profile. Adding another layer to this complex debate, Dr. Brad Stanfield, a voice in the scientific community, provided a critical viewpoint. He remarked in an interview with Healthnews, questioning the ethics behind Dr. Sinclair's NMN promotion and subsequent restriction of NMN as a dietary supplement.
And I wanted to figure out why the FDA had come to that conclusion. And yeah, if you trace it back, it was because of a company called Metro Biotech, who have developed a specific type of NMN called MIB626. And they are doing some clinical trials on that particular molecule. And so they wanted it to be protected by the FDA. But if you peel it back a bit more, that company was co-founded by David Sinclair. David Sinclair is the Harvard professor that generated a lot of the hype about NMN. Probably starting from the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't think the FDA has done anything wrong here. I think David Sinclair has been very clever with his marketing. He's generated all of this hype, getting, probably hundreds of thousands of people to get onto the NMN bandwagon. And now he's trying to wall it off to create, a truckload of money for his company and himself. Again, it's the consumer that loses out. I just think it's sad.
These insights hint at broader concerns in the scientific community regarding the interplay of research, marketing, and regulatory actions. The divide in the industry was clear. On one side, advocates for immediate accessibility and potential benefits of NMN as a supplement. On the other, proponents of thorough regulatory oversight to guarantee consumer safety. These contrasting industry reactions set the stage for further actions and discussions, including petitions and advocacy efforts aimed at influencing the FDA stance on NMN. March 7, 2023 marked another significant chapter in the NMN saga. Two influential advocacy groups in the supplement sector, the Natural Products Association, NPA, and Alliance for Natural Health, USA, took a bold step. They submitted a citizen petition to the FDA, challenging the agency's decision to classify NMN as a new drug under investigation. This petition wasn't just a formality. It represented a collective outcry from a significant portion of the industry and consumers, demanding reconsideration of the FDA stance on NMN. The petitioner said that NMN should remain accessible as a dietary supplement, emphasizing its potential benefits and the importance of consumer choice. What's critical about this petition is its reflection of a broader debate on regulatory approach when it comes to new ingredients in supplements or drugs. The NPA and Alliance for Natural Health USA were essentially advocating for a middle ground. This would encompass a regulatory framework that ensures consumer safety without suppressing innovation or access to potentially beneficial compounds as supplements. On August 30th, 2023, the FDA responded to the citizen petition, stating that NMN is under investigation as a new drug and cannot be marketed as a dietary supplement. Quoting an agency spokesperson, the FDA did not take any position on the regulatory status of NMN under the dietary supplement definition, because this same issue is under consideration in another proceeding. However, this may not be the end of the road. The NPA had once filed a lawsuit over the FDA ban on another dietary ingredient, N-acetylcysteine, also known as NAC. They withdrew the lawsuit after the FDA issued final guidance on NAC, exercising enforcement discretion with respect to the sale and distribution of certain products with NAC. The industry's reaction to the FDA response to petitions has been a mix of disappointment and continued advocacy. In a recent interview, Dr. Daniel Fabricant from the NPA emphasized the significance of NMN, stating, "This is not an insignificant ingredient, so I think there's money there to fight the fight. We continue to tell our members to sell NMN because FDA has said this isn't a final agency action." Such statements reflect the ongoing commitment within parts of the industry to challenge and potentially reshape the FDA current position. As we move forward, the regulatory landscape for NMN remains a subject of active debate and possible legal action if the industry or consumer advocacy groups files a lawsuit. The FDA decisions and the industry's responses highlight the ongoing challenge of navigating the complex world of safe supplements, industry innovation, and consumer choice. If you found this video informative and want to stay updated on the latest developments in the NMN saga, don't forget to subscribe to the Healthnews channel. Also, check out our other videos for more insights into the world of health and wellness.